right, you half-organised hooligans. Welcome back to Proper Prepper FM, surviving the end times, with a lot less dignity than planned. Before we let Dougie loose with his shopping list rage, it's me, Davey, with the health and safety bit nobody listens to. Number 1, if it says, for decorative use only, it is not a prepper item. Number 2, candles are not a central heating system. 10 tea lights and a terracotta pot will not heat your 3-bed semi-Karen and can be a flippin' fire hazard. Number 3, if it plugs in, hums, glows or sparks, do not just see what happens during a blackout. That's not called science. That's called the fire brigade time. Right, now that we've technically done our duty, tonight's totally legit sponsor is Nuclear Noodles, the 25-year shelf-life pot noodle. Guaranteed to survive war, famine and your teenager's hygiene. Just add water, regret your life choices, and enjoy a meal that tastes exactly like the end of 1984. Right, ad's done. Let's drag Dougie in before he starts yelling at the tins again.
Welcome to Proper Prepper FM, broadcasting live from the middle of nowhere with nothing but a whiskey, a dodgy microphone, and far too much free time. This is the show where sarcasm is currency, duct tape is gold, and your host is, well, Dougie. So get comfy and lower your expectations, because here comes another half hour of whatever this is supposed to be.
Dougie, you all right there? You look like you've just read your tax return.
I've just done the weekly shop, that's why. Welcome to Proper Prepper FM, folks. The only show where we admit out loud that half of Britain's prepping plan is, I've got pasta and vibes, I'll be fine. And there's a 24-hour convenience store around the corner, so I'll be okay. Here's the reality. Most people in the UK massively overestimate how long their cupboards would last if the shops shut for 1 week in winter. You ask them, how long could you eat if Tesco shut tonight? They go, oh, ages, mate, I've got loads in. No, you don't, pal. You've got 1 bag of fusilli, 3 tins of mystery soup, a frozen pizza, and a jar of pickled onions from 2019 that survived 3 house moves. Meanwhile, some lad on Instagram's got a wall of pot noodles, a cupboard full of bog roll, and calls himself Urban Wolf Tactical. If we get a proper winter storm, roads closed, lorries stuck, maybe rolling blackouts on top of stupid food prices, that's when people realize, I've got ingredients, but I've not got a plan. So, tonight's topic is simple and properly UK specific. How to build a winter food stockpile for about £30, plus decent water and offline info, without selling a kidney or joining a cult. We're talking hot, filling meals versus sad salads, real-world water filtration, not, I licked snow, I'm hydrated. And why some folks are selling offline internet gadgets for hundreds when you can get 90% of it on a bloody USB stick. And yes, somewhere in the middle of that, Davey will offend someone's favourite brand of tin meat.
If your bug-in plan is spam and Monster Energy, this episode is a personal attack.
Good. Strap in. So, the topic of the week, £30 winter food box. Right, let's start with the £30 winter food box. Not a doomsday bunker, not 6 months in a fallout shelter, just a cheap backup that lives quietly in a cupboard until you actually need it. The goal, about a week of hot, filling meals for one person, or a decent few days for a couple using normal supermarket own brand stuff. No freeze-dried astronaut nonsense. Tesco, Aldi, Asda, Lidl, the misery aisle we all know and love. Breakdown looks something like this. Breakfast base, big bag of value oats, cheap peanut butter, and a bag of raisins or mixed dried fruit. That's porridge with peanut butter. Porridge with raisins. Or both if you want to feel fancy and middle class while the grid dies. Carb bulk, 1 kilogram rice, 1 kilogram pasta, couple of packs of instant mash. That's your belly fillers. Curries, stews, tuna pasta, beans and mash when your soul is given up. Protein and fibre, mix of tins, beans, chickpeas, kidney beans, a bag of red lentils, plus a few tins of fish like tuna or sardines. Not sexy, but they'll keep you going long after your neighbour's living off cardboard and custard creams. Flavour and fat. Chopped tomatoes, cheap cooking oil, stock cubes, basic curry powder or herbs, and salt. Because if you forget salt, you deserve bland apocalypse food. Morale, big pack of tea bags, a cheap hot chocolate or instant coffee, and a couple of packets of biscuits. Because a mug of tea and a chocolate digestive in a blackout does more for morale than your 15th lentil stew. You're not eating like you're in a gastropub, but you'll get carbs, proteins, some fat and fibre, and 2 hot meals a day, while everyone else is pretending raw kale and positivity will keep them warm. We'll dig into the details with our guest in a minute, but that's the skeleton of it.
Translation: for 30 quid you can either get 1 Nando's and a stomachache, or a week's worth of apocalypse porridge. Choose wisely. Right, Dougie's favourite bit now, product review, where he lets that cocky mank Liam loose with the gadgets are they worth the money, and what's marketing bollocks? We've got 2 tonight. A posh-looking stainless steel water tower thingy, and a USB stick full of homework. Let's roll with Liam.
It's time to rate it, slate it, or tell you not to bloody buy it. PPFM's Review Rumble. Come on, let's have it.
Alright, you bargain bin survival experts, gather round. Today's top shiny toy for people who don't trust their tap is the big Berkey. You've seen it, yeah? The big, shiny water barrel all the Americans are practically kissing on YouTube. So, what is it? Basically, it's a big stainless steel gravity filter, and they come in different sizes. You lob your water in the top, tap water, river water, puddle off your ex's tears, whatever, and it slowly drips through these chunky filters into the bottom section. The sales pitch goes like this. Each pair of filters can handle tens of thousands of litres before you need new ones, with a lifespan of about 6 years. It strips out the nasty stuff, bacteria, chemicals, general grot, plus 99.9999% of all known bacteria. That's proper good, that is, but keeps the minerals like calcium and magnesium, so it doesn't taste like you're drinking from a lab beaker. In normal UK life, fill it in the morning, you've got plenty for drinking and cooking all day. If you get a boil water notice, or your local tap water supply tastes like chlorinated piss, it's a cracking extra layer of defence. It's proper gear, that is. Power cut. Still works. No plugs, no drama, just gravity and waiting for drips like a very slow, very smug tap. Downsides, because you know, I'm not here to blow smoke up your arse. It's not cheap. You're paying for the shiny steel, the filters, and the peace of mind that you got 6 years worth of pure water. It's big, not cute kitchen decor. More statement piece that says I don't trust Thames water. That said, they do a travel Berkey, small in size and suitable for 1 or 2 persons. My verdict, and not the court's. If you've got the cash and want long-term, low-faff water resilience, Berkey-type gravity filters a solid bit of kit. But I'd still have backups, bottled water, cheap jug filter and the old classic. Boil it till it's trying to climb out the pan, and search out an underground spring that spouts fresh water. Not a chance in the city, but rural, you stand a chance. And a little thing to note, we British have our own style of Berkey filter system. It's called the British Berkefeld. You can find a good deal on one at Lee's, Bug Out, in the heart of Wales. Go check it out. If you do get one from him, remember to use PPFM 01 for a 10% discount and get a proper bit of kit.
So we're saying, good bit of kit, bit pricey, do not finance it over 4 years like a Range Rover.
Exactly. Proper kit this, just don't stick it on Klarna and cry about it later. Right, on to gadget number 2, the offline survival USB. You've probably seen folk flogging SHTF offline internet boxes, little Wi-Fi bricks with 15,000 survival files for a few £100. Strip the marketing glitter off, and what is it really? It's a storage device full of PDFs, first aid knots and ropework water, power, radios, homesteading and trade skills, and a 12-inch single version of Wonderwall. All that good prepper bedtime reading. Now, here's the budget prepper, Manchester special version. You buy yourself a 64GB USB stick, ideally one with normal USB and USB-C, so it talks to laptops and phones. You fill it with open source, legal manuals and PDFs, stuff that's royalty free, out of copyright, or released free on purpose. You chuck them into proper folders: medical, water, power, gardening, radios, Oasis albums, all neat and tidy, so you don't lose the good stuff. Result: you've basically built yourself a pocket survival library you can plug into your old laptop or your phone, even when the internet's deader than your houseplants. Total cost: price of the USB and your time-dragging files about. Not £300 and a smug confirmation email from some lad calling it Off-Grid Wiki 9000. So, product verdict: USB survival library idea. Solid and sorted. Paying silly money for what is basically someone else's download folder. Absolutely not solid.
So if a site's selling ultimate apocalypse knowledge reactor and it's just a pen drive, maybe don't.
Yeah, if your off-grid internet is just a zip file and a fairy tale, buy the USB, skip the salesman, and spend the change on some knock-off bit of kit down the market and 4 cans of Stella. Trust me, I know a markup when I see one.
In a world full of chaos, uncertainty, and badly labeled tins, one show dares to interview the unprepared, the overprepared, and the bloke who brought cheese as his only survival item. This is the PPFM interview.
Right, time for our favourite bit, the prepper interview, where Dougie gets to poke at somebody else's bad decisions instead of yours. Tonight we've got Alfie spamming basics, Pugnut, budget prepper, winter food nerd, and the only man I know who can get 15,000 PDFs onto a USB stick without crying. Alfie, mate, you alive?
Just about, aye. Cheers for having me, lads.
Right, Alfie. You're the one shouting on the internet about 30 quid winter food boxes. Explain yourself. Why 30 quid? Why winter?
Because that's the line where people stop listening, mate. Say a year's food. They glaze over. Say 30 quid, 1 crate, lives in your cupboard. Folk actually do it. It's for storms, road closures, blackouts, stupid prices for basics. The kind of stuff we actually see here, not Hollywood asteroid scenarios.
Give us the rough list then, in human language. What's in Alfie's £30 winter box?
Right. Headline version. Breakfast. Big bag of value. Oats. Jar of peanut butter. Bag of raisins. That's a week of hot porridge that doesn't taste like prison. Carbs. 1 kilogram rice. 1 kilogram pasta. 2 packs of instant mash. These are your foundations. You stick everything else on top. Protein and fiber. 6 tins of beans or pulses. Baked beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, mixed beans. Whatever's on offer. 4 tins of fish in oil or tomato sauce. Cheap tuna, sardines, mackerel. And 1 500-gram bag of red lentils because they cook fast and bulk out everything. Flavour and fat, 4 tins chopped tomatoes, bottle of cheap oil, pack of stock cubes, basic curry powder or mixed herbs, plus salt if you're one of those weirdos who doesn't already have it. Morale, 80 to 100 tea bags, cheap hot chocolate or coffee, and 2 packs of biscuits. That lot, at value and own brand prices, usually lands somewhere in the mid-20s with a bit of wiggle room, even with prices climbing.
So you're not promising Michelin star, you're promising hot and not miserable.
Exactly. 2 hot meals a day for one person, easily a week. For a couple, it's still a solid run, especially if you use your normal fridge stuff first.
What are the big mistakes Brits make instead?
3 main ones relying on the freezer. They go, "I'm fine, my freezer's full." That's great until the power's off for 2 days, and you're doing a speed-eating competition with your own chicken nuggets. Having ingredients, not meals. Shelves of flour, random rice, weird grains from a diet phase, and no idea how to turn it into something you can cook half asleep on a camping stove. No fat, no flavour. Plain rice, plain beans. People burn out on it fast, and then live on takeaway again. A bit of oil, stock, tomatoes, and cheap spices turn the same ingredients into actual stews and curries.
Right. Give us 3 actual meals from that 30-pound box so folk can picture it.
Sure. Bean and lentil curry. Rice base, tin of mixed beans, handful of lentils, chopped tomatoes, stock cube, curry powder, glug of oil. 1 pot, very filling. Tuna pasta. Stew pasta, chopped tomatoes, tin of tuna, herbs and a bit of oil. Call it Italian and feel fancy in the apocalypse. Mash and fish bowl, instant mash, tinned fish in tomato sauce, maybe some beans on the side. Ugly as sin, but warm and heavy in your stomach when it's blowing a gale.
That's the point, folks. In winter, you don't need Instagram salads, you need hot sludge that keeps you going. Right, what about storage and rotation? Because half the people listening are going to buy this once and forget about it till 2045.
Dead simple. Put it all in 1 crate or big box. Label it Winter Emergency Food. Use last and write the month/year on it. Every few months, steal 1 or 2 tins or packets for normal dinners and replace them next shop. That way, it never all goes out of date at once, and you're used to cooking with the stuff before you actually need it.
And if you open the crate and the biscuits are missing, check your own mouth first.
Right, before we wrap this up, Alfie here says he's got a game-changing prepper invention he wants to share. Now, I haven't heard this yet. Davey has, which already worries me deeply. Alfie, mate, what exactly have you brought?
Right, cheers, lads. So, my big idea, and hear me out a minute, stay with me, is the self-warming emergency bucket.
Oh Christ, here we go.
No, my mate, it's a proper thing. It's a 5-litre bucket, normal bucket, but with a built-in compartment underneath for these little chemical heat packs I found online. You pop them in, give it a shake, and the bucket warms up. So, in a power outage you've got a warm seat, a warm foot bath. And if you're desperate, a romantic warming aid. Multi-use prepping at its finest.
Right, Alfie, you've invented a warm bucket.
Exactly. But it's multifunctional. Seat, foot spa, emergency bottle warmer, survival bidet, depending how brave you are. And the heat packs are reusable if you boil them. So it's eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly? Mate, it's a bucket you've strapped hot hands to. I'm trying so hard not to swear right now, but I've stapled my tongue to the roof of my mouth and it's not helping.
Look, people laughed at the life straw once too. Yeah? But imagine you're in a cabin, storm raging, power's gone, toes like ice cubes. You sit on this bucket and boom, luxury.
Luxury. It's a hot arse bucket, Alfie. A bucket that gets warm. Do you know what the rest of us call that? Self-indulgent lunacy.
I like it. I think it's got legs.
Oh, of course you do, Davey. A camel's got legs. And some things beginning to give me the hump. Because you invited this Dragon's Den wannabe onto my show, and also I asked for real preppers, folk with skills, tools, experience. And what do you bring me? A mad inventor selling a spicy bucket like he's at a Moss-side KFC. Next week, you'll be introducing someone who's invented glow-in-the-dark bog roll so the aliens can find your loo at night.
Actually, I've got a prototype for...
No, absolutely not. We're not doing product number 2. The bucket was enough. I'm mentally drained.
Fair enough. But genuinely, it keeps your bum warm. That's survival.
If the apocalypse hits, and the first thing you worry about is the temperature of your backside, you deserve to be eaten first, by wolves or your neighbors, whichever arrives quicker. Right, Alfie, cheers for coming on. And please, for the love of all that is sane, don't be selling those warm arse buckets on Facebook Marketplace.
Pleasure, lads. Stay warm, with or without my bucket.
Right. I just need a minute, because I swear to God, that was the single stupidest 10 minutes of my adult life, and I've once tried to siphon petrol using a straw. A heated bucket, that gets warm. We've spoken to ex-military survivalists, bushcrafters, medical preppers, and Davey, my co-host, my supposed friend, decides tonight is the night to introduce us to Captain Hot Arse and his thermo tub of doom.
Right. Before Dougie explodes, and he will, I'd just like to apologise to the listeners. A proper apology, a sincere apology, from the heart. I am deeply sorry that Dougie doesn't appreciate innovation. You lot deserve cutting-edge prepping gear. And I brought you a man with a bucket that warms your bum crack. That's called entertainment.
Davey, if you ever book someone like that again, I'm padlocking the shed from the inside and broadcasting solo with a bottle of good scotch.
Fair, but admit it, Dougie. Deep down, you'll miss Alfie and his hot-arse bucket.
If that bucket comes within 10 feet of my shed, I'm using it as a bin for these scripts. Right. Let's move on before I burst a vessel. While I take a 5-minute breather, a sip of my fine blend whiskey, we can hear from our sponsor, Lee from the Bug-Out Shop in the heart of Wales. Davey, get your arse over here, my lad. We need to have a talk.
When the unexpected happens, will you be ready? At the Bug-Out Shop, we've got everything you need to prepare for emergencies, adventures, and the unknown. From survival gear and water purification to bug-out bags and tools, trusted kit for real preparedness. Don't wait for the crisis to come to you. Get to thebugout.co.uk today and get prepared. Your survival starts here, and you can use promo code PPFM01 for a 10% discount on your next purchase.
You've got an email, ding ding. You've got an email, ding ding. I said, you've got an email, ding ding.
Right then, time for our favourite bit, the emails. Whiskey in hand, inbox full of madness. It's listeners' emails, and you lot did not disappoint this week. Email 1. First up, we've got Martin, 38, Newcastle. Hi Dougie, I don't really need a food stockpile because my chest freezer is full. If the power goes off, could I just not open it for a week and it'll be fine?
Martin, mate, that's not a freezer. That's a slow motion bin at that point. Yes, not opening it helps for a bit. But if we're talking multi-day blackout, at some point, you're basically hosting a lukewarm bacteria party. Have some cupboard food that doesn't care what the national grid's doing. That 30-pound box will still be edible when your chicken Kiev has turned into rat food.
Email 2. Next one's from Anonymous in Essex. This doesn't look too promising. If I pour cheap vodka through a big Berkey, will it come out stronger? Ask him for a friend.
Tell your friend this. The filters are designed for water, not to turn cheap Aldi vodka into rocket fuel. You'll just knacker the filters and still wake up with a hangover. If you want stronger vodka, drink it faster before you've got time to think about it. That's my only distilling advice.
Email free. Email free from Claire in Cardiff. Is it wrong that I find a man more attractive if he's got a labelled food crate and a water filter? My boyfriend says I'm weird.
Claire, that's not weird. That's evolution. Your brain has gone, this one has beans and a plan, potential mate. If your boyfriend feels threatened by organized shelving, send him this message from me. Buy a crate and some lentils, son. Romance is in the rotation system.
Email 4. Next up, Gaz from Birmingham. I bought one of those off-grid internet boxes for £250. After listening to you lot, I've realised it's basically a USB screwed into a biscuit tin. Do I admit this to my wife or fake insanity?
Gaz, do not fake insanity. You'll forget the story and grass yourself up. Use it as a lesson. Keep the files, learn from them, and next time, buy the blank USB first and the marketing fluff never. Tell the wife it's now the Family Education Archive, and hope she doesn't listen to this show.
Email 5. Last one, tight but terrified in Dundee. £30 is a lot for me right now. Is it still worth it, or should I just keep winging it?
Genuinely serious answer for once. If money's tight, build it in bits. Week 1, oats plus 1 tin or 2. Week 2, some beans and tomatoes. Week 3, pasta and lentils. Slowly fill one crate over a couple of months. Even having 3 days of backup food you're not touching is a massive step up from nothing. Don't compare yourself to Instagram bunkers. Compare yourself to last month's you.
And if you've got questions, problems, or you've done something catastrophically stupid with a survival gadget, send it in. We live for this.
Right, let's land this before Davey starts eating the display food. Takeaway tonight is dead simple. Your freezer is not a plan. It's useful, but it depends on someone else keeping the lights on. A cheap £30 food crate gives you hot breakfast, hot dinners, a cuppa and a biscuit when the weather's trying to peel your roof off. Water matters. Whether you go full big Berkey or just have some bottles and a kettle, have something between you and I hope this tap's fine. And knowledge takes no space. A USB loaded with legit open source manuals weighs nothing, but it's worth more than half the tat people are hoarding. Prepping isn't about building a bunker and screaming on TikTok. It's about being the person who can eat, drink, and think straight when the shop's shut and the Wi-Fi dies. If your survival plan is Vaseline penthouse and sweet dreams, you're already dead, pal. Start small. One crate, a bit of water, a pen drive full of boring PDFs, and suddenly winter looks a lot less terrifying and a lot more like, yeah, we got this. So that for me is the end of this ecstatic broadcast, and we hope you enjoyed it. So till next week then, Slanjavar, my friends.
Well, ladies and gents, that's all the nonsense we can squeeze into one episode. You've been listening to Proper Prepper FM. Equal parts comedy, tragedy, and something in between. If you've got nothing better to do next week, and let's be honest, you probably haven't, then tune in again for more sarcasm and silliness. Until then, take care, stay strange, and thanks for pretending this was worth your time.
Right then, you glorious rabble. That's us for this week on Proper Prepper FM, surviving the end times with a lot less dignity than planned. If tonight's episode made you look at your cupboards and quietly panic, good. That's the point. So if you've got stories about dodgy Tim prep, tragic food thoughts, or genius invention ideas that can't go horribly wrong, send them in. If you've got prepper questions, blackout disaster tales, or you want Dougie to judge your shopping list, send your emails to properprepperfm@gmail.com or voice notes on 0749 747 1454. Stick PPFM in the subject and tell us if you want to be named or just a listener who definitely knows better now. And remember the PPFM rule of 3, like the video if you didn't hate it. Share it with that mate who reckons 3 pot noodles and a vape is a winter survival plan. Subscribe so you don't miss the episode where Dougie finally snaps and marries a woman called Berkey. From me, Davey, and from the angry shed goblin himself, Dougie. Stay warm, stay stocked, and stop licking the bloody batteries. See you laters.